I'm not going to tell you that I'll sing that. I'll try.
If he can give you the tune, that'd be I mean, that's really all I want to. If you just get the tune started for me, then I can. Benjamin Deane is one I would like. I've heard of it.
Good people all, both great and small, read these lines penned by me. These lines were written by a man deprived of liberty, who is serving out a sentence for a deed that I have done. And it's here I fear I will remain till my race on earth is run. My name is Benjamin Deane and my age is 41. I was born in New Brunswick in the city of St. John, near by the Bay of Fundy where the seagulls loudly call as they rock with pride on the silvery tide as the billows rise and fall. That's all I can sing.
Okay, good. Do you remember the rest of the words to it?
My parents reared me honestly, brought me up in fear of God, but long have they been slumbering beneath their native sod. Side by side they slumber in a quiet cemetery where the willows bow before the breeze from off the deep blue sea. Farewell unto my happy home, I ne'er shall see it more. No more I'll watch the billows break upon its rock-bound shore. No more I'll watch those ships go by, with sails as white as snow, bound for some port far o'er the sea, before the winds that blow. When I arrived in Berlin Falls, some 20 years ago, the town was then about one half as large as it is now, and laboring men of every nationality were there, for work was plenty, wages good, each man could get a share. The businessmen of Berlin then were making money fast. I thought that I, too, would invest before the boom had passed. A building leased on Mason Street, and into business went. I kept a fruit and candy shop, likewise a restaurant. My business proved successful, for I did the right by all. I gained the favor of the great, the rich, the poor, and small. To my surprise, before a year had fully rolled around, in glittering gold I did possess more than £1,000. The coming year I wed with one, the fairest of the fair. Her eyes were of a heavenly blue, and light brown was her hair. Her cheeks were like the dawn of morn, her form graceful and fair, her smile as bright as morning light, her step as light as air. She was born of good parents, and they reared her tenderly. 'Twas little did they ever think she would be slain by me. The night I gained her promise, and her hand to me she gave, it would been better far for her had she lain in her grave. I own I loved my fair young bride, which proved a prudent wife. 'Tis little did I think that I one day would take her life. But as the years rolled swiftly by, upon the wings of time, I found the paths of pleasure had led to the fields of crime. I soon began a wild career caused by the thirst for gold. My property on Mason Street for a goodly sum I sold. I bought a building on Main Street, which cost a handsome sum. I ran a free and easy house and went to selling rum. My fair young wife would often beg me my steps to retrace. She told me that the path I trod led to death and disgrace. Had I but heeded her warning, I wouldn't be here now, and she might still be living with no brand upon her brow. I soon began to associate with men of low degree, and my business kept me constantly in their base company. I quickly went from bad to worse, did many a deed of crime that never will be brought to light in future years of time. My fair young wife then fled with one whose name I will not write, whose character was blacker than the darkest hour of night. To persuade her to return to me, it was my whole intent, so to the house where she then dwelt my steps I quickly bent. I cautiously approached the house and opened the hall door. I found the way to my wife's room upon an upper floor. The sight that fell upon my gaze is stamped upon my mind, for on the bosom of a man my fair wife's head reclined. The very fiends of hell it seemed my being did possess. I drew a loaded pistol, and I aimed it at her breast. And when she saw the weapon, 'twas loudly she did cry, For God's sake, do not shoot me, Ben, for I'm not fit to die. The bullet pierced her snowy breast. In a moment she was dead. For God's sake, you have shot me, were the last words that she said. The trigger of that weapon either moved too fast or slow, or else another would have passed with her to weal or woe. The last time that I saw my wife, she lay upon the floor. Her long and light brown wavy hair was stained with crimson gore. The sun shone through the window on her cold and lifeless face as the officers led me away from that polluted place. I have 2 daughters living, they're orphans in a way, and should you chance to meet them, treat them kindly, I pray. Don't chide them for their father's sins, for on them there will rest a crimson stain long after I am mouldering back to dust. I think I got the whole of it here.